Detailed explanation of negative pressure examples. In this section, you will learn a detailed explanation of the above-mentioned negative pressure examples. Stretching of certain solids. We can see negative pressure in solids. We call it negative pressure tension. It happens when we stretch the solid. Solids can militate or resist the forces due to the internal attractive force between its molecules. Cavitation of liquid. When a negative pressure is applied to the liquid, the static pressure of the liquid recedes to down the liquid vapor pressure, leading to the layout of small vapor-filled cavities in the liquid. That is when the negative pressure reaches nearly 9 MPa, cavitation occurs. Pull of suction cups. Suction cups are made up of PVC plastic. When a suction cup is sealed inversely on a surface and air is needed out of the cup, a negative pressure region is formed inside the suction area, and this negative pressure presses down inside the cup. That creates the suction. Negative pressure during respiration. We can see negative pressure in respiration. If we increase the extension of a space, the pressure drops. Breathing in with the infringement of the chest wall and abdominal wall increases the capacity, pressure drops and the outside air rushes in. In other words, we can say that when we inhale, the diaphragm and muscles between our ribs contract, creating a negative pressure inside your chest cavity. The negative pressure draws the air that we can breathe into our lungs. Negative pressure in medium. When we applied negative pressure to the medium, the expansion of the medium requires work. When a medium is allowed to contract, energy is released that can be used to do useful work. Intrapleural pressure. The space between the lung and pleura is intrapleural pressure, which is a negative pressure because the movement of the lungs rely upon the pressure inclination among the lungs and pleura. The pressure inside the pleural cavity is generally smaller than the atmospheric pressure, hence, in turn, to operate the air inside the lung, the intrapulmonary pressure and the intrapleural pressure should be negative. Negative pressure during gas released into an empty volume. Negative pressure was possible when gas was released into an empty volume after some high duration of more or less constant expansion, as if out were absorbing it even order. Negative pressure in syringes. When we fill a container or bowl with a liquid-like syringe, if the dilute gas is not there in the liquid, the size of the container increases slowly, then there is a possibility of obtaining the negative pressure. Negative pressure in dark energy. Dark energy is a form of energy postulated to act in opposition to gravity and to occupy the entire universe to accelerate. The gravitational effect of dark energy is repulsive because the dark energy has strong negative pressure. This negative pressure causes a gravitational repulsion, hence the dark energy helps in the expansion of the universe to accelerate. Plants transport water under negative pressure. The transport process inside the plants mainly occurs in the xylem tissue. Xylem sap is transported under negative pressure, which means that tension is applied to xylem sap, which can sustain the forces because of hydrogen bonds between water molecules. In plants, negative pressure is a result of transpiration. When the sap is under negative pressure, the gas bubbles are formed such that the liquid is under tension and is thermodynamically metastable concerning vapor phase. Negative pressure makes it easier to control and maintain or keep temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide levels, and other contaminants. Negative air pressure in pharma industries. In pharma industries, negative air pressure maintains the rooms to be clean and is essential to preventing cross-contamination. This kind of negative air pressure room are suitable for steroid and chemotherapy. Shrinkage of solid sphere. When you extract all gas from the sphere up to 0 atmospheric pressure and something more, then solid sphere will try to shrink, then we can say that it will be negative pressure. Negative pressure under isolation. Negative room pressure is an isolation technique used in hospitals to prevent cross-contamination from room to room. It includes ventilation that generates negative pressure to allow air to flow into the isolation room but not escape from the room. Negative pressure rooms in hospitals keep patients with infectious illnesses away from other patients. Negative pressure in deep well jet pumps. The pumping effect is achieved by using a motive medium such as a gas flow. This produces a dynamic pressure drop in a motive nozzle, resulting in negative pressure, which accelerates the suction medium by impulse transmission in the mixing nozzle toe throughout. Negative pressure at the deep jet well pumps is when the hydraulic grades at the pump are below their elevation, which occurs generally on the suction side of the pump. The suction side is the negative pressure point. The simple technical jet pumps are especially robust and low defensible. Negative pressure in sucking on a straw. When we suck the liquid on a straw, it creates negative air pressure to cause a liquid to flow through a tube against gravity. If the straw has a narrow diameter, then we require a greater effort to suck because greater negative pressure is needed to overcome the higher resistance offered by the smaller straws. In another way, we can say that when we drink a juice using a straw, the air pressure inside the straw decreases. Due to our sucking, the negative pressure is created inside the straw, which forces the liquid up along the straw and into our mouth. Negative pressure in fluid mechanics. Under certain conditions, liquid can stretch. If we pull them, they pull back. For example, when holding the glass full of water, then the fluid exerted pressure on the glass wall and the glass also exerted equal and opposite pressure on the fluid surface. This is because of the stress or tension resulting from the elongation of an elastic body. That pressure is negative pressure. Trees make negative pressure on water. As trees perspire, they lose molecules, hence, in the stomata of the tree molecular density decreases. This lowers the pressure even more negatively. Negative pressure happens when trees undergo transpiration, then the water diffuses out the tree leaves at the top and most of the water that scatters the top of the tree. Negative pressure wound treatment. Negative pressure wound treatment is an advanced technique that will be helping in the healing of the wound in a better and faster way. Negative pressure wound treatment includes the packing of the wound in a sterile or infertile way, and a vacuum pump is connected to the dressing, so the extra secretions which are being formed inside the wound will be withdrawn with the help of a vacuum. Once the machine is on, the wound is slowly being pulled together in second. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.